You are listening to the Moonbase podcast. I am the peyote robot, trapped in the Moonbase peyote engine which fuels the imagination drive of the podcast. I cannot stop, I will not stop. The peyote must grow, the microphones must record. The Moonbase is starting now. Enjoy.
All right. So the Secret of Nim. What do you think of that? What do you think of the movie?
Well, I was thinking earlier. First of all, it's crazy, and it's just weird to me that it even exists. Let me look up a little bit more on it. Actually, The Secret of Nim is a 1982 American animated fantasy adventure film written by Don Bluth. This is just a Wikipedia article. In his directional debut and based on the 1971 children's novel Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. Wow, that looks really
That book looks
even more fun. Yeah, I didn't know about the book even. Like, did you see the cover and the logo is like that?
The novel relates the plight of a widowed field mouse, Miss Frisbee, who seeks the aid of a group of former laboratory rats in rescuing her home from destruction by a farmer's plow, saving her son from pneumonia, and the history of the rat's escape from the laboratory, and development of a literate and technological society. What the fuck?
And you see how the cover of the book even has, like, the logo of the National Institute of Mental Health, I think, was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so, like, I guess we should start with, like, how we actually stumbled on it, and that's, like, through
that's...
Rat Park experiment.
Yeah, so, basically, and it doesn't really say much... It doesn't say anything here as far as I can see that actually relates it to that experiment. But what was that? What was that called? The Rat Utopia?
Yeah, the Rat Utopia experiment.
Or was this? Does this say debunked here? Oh no, this wasn't debunked. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know why it did that. And this was in the 60s.
So it pretty much was an experiment with rats that showed the effects of overpopulation and just an abundance of resources. So rats given unlimited resources but a limited confined space eventually just grew in population till a certain point where they all just started going crazy and like eating each other and fucking each other up. And it pretty much showed that like without a drive or a purpose that most kind of like social systems end up collapsing.
It was even crazier than that. Even like I don't know. It just really blows my mind how they mimic the human behavior over time.
Yeah,
like I think there was
called
even
Rat
like
Park, right? Or no, Rat Park was the one with. That was the drug addiction experiment, where if the rats were isolated, they would drink morphine. But if they were in a cage with other rats and, like, play shit and they had, like, a good environment, then they wouldn't drink the morphine water. They'd pick the regular water. It, like, kind of showed how, like, addiction is partly caused by environment.
Yeah, for sure.
But what was it, Rat Utopia?
Just look up John Calhoun. Calhoun. Rat Utopia Calhoun.
Yeah, the cage looks fucked too. Like, it just looks like something that would breed Satan, you know? Dude, even like having these wasps in that insect enclosure, at a certain point I did feel like I was just like breeding Satan into this world, you know? Just all these wasps being born and like dying constantly in this system I've created, and like just fuck.
You didn't like playing God, did you?
I mean, it was okay. It just felt like
wasn't your place.
Like, Yeah, it was just wrong in a way.
Yeah, this machine they've built looks very
medieval.
It looks grim.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It's crazy. I think there was even there was rats that there was different groups of behavior. There was some rats that would not interact with anyone, and they would just preen themselves all day and make sure they looked really good, or they clean themselves and make themselves the beautiful ones or something like that. And
it was just the subset of males that would do nothing.
I think there began to be gay rats too. Even I may be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure there was though. And there's just a lot, way more. They became way more pleasure seeking. What's the word is escaping me.
Just operating on lizard brain terms.
Well, it's they're sort of mimicking. It's kind of like Babylon, even in the Bible. How it's the bigger these civilizations get and how crazy get, the more hedonistic was the word I was looking for. They just become there's less to do and everyone just becomes more pleasure seeking, and you can see that's happening in the world around us today. Yeah,
for sure. It's all about just what instant reward can I get today?
Yeah. Is this a Disney movie? That's what I was...
The Secret of Nim?
Yeah, anyways, I don't think we covered the connection. These experiments on the rats happened took place in the National Institute for Mental Health, I believe. Yeah, National Institute of Mental Health, and that's what NIM is.
That's what NIM is, yeah.
It's an acronym. And the movie's about a bunch of rats that escaped. They became, the rats, become human. They become self-aware or whatever. And they have, it's kind of like a medieval, it's kind of like a weird medieval, adventure movie, but it's, also kind of they're coming out of the apocalypse of, I don't know.
As far as I remember,
human ruin.
Kids sort of, find this weird box on the beach, right? And then they open it up, and there's some bunny in it, or the rat thing, and that's what talks to them, right?
No, I don't think we're talking about the same movie, man. The Secret of Nim's an animated movie.
Oh, true. I am thinking of a different one then. I'm thinking of that one where they find that alien cube on the... Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're... There's another Secret of Nim too, eh? Forgot what it is. It's weird.
What's it called? Or it's called Secret of Nim?
Can't forget what it's called.
There's a Secret of Nim too, apparently. I don't know how good that would be. So it's not a Disney movie. Yo, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Edit that out.
Yeah, anyway, this rat experiment pretty much mimics and almost predicts, we're following the same trend that this rat experiment took. And if we follow it further, it seems like there's more just chaos, destruction, and nonsense ahead of us.
Yeah. Man, I wish I had this movie more fresh in my brain, but...
Yeah, remember Operation Geppetto?
Yeah, that was an idea we came across.
We came up
with. Yeah, we hatched on quite the acid trip in our friend Luke's basement. And
yeah, we were tripping sack, and then I pretty much brought out my phone and I was like, yo boys, did I ever show you guys my mischief list? And at the time, I had this list of just general thing, like they were activities that I could do with the least amount of effort that would piss off the most amount of people possible. And out of this, we also hatched Operation Geppetto, which was trying to use like social media or dating sites to get as many people to interact with
and like Craigslist
them knowing
and
it. Yeah, just to get the most random groups of people to interact with each other. I was actually reading, there's this group in Russia called, it's like the Internet Research Group or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll make a bunch of these like meme pages online or like Facebook pages and try and rack up as many followers. But then they'll just like have like demonstrations for the pro-Islam like center or whatever. And then they'll have like a pro-Texas barbecue like across the street, and they'll like have two different pages organize these events on the same weekend. So they just try and like instigate like beef between them. That was almost what Operation Geppetto was like, but more just on the individual level.
Wait, is that just like a group? You said it was like a group of like trolls, right?
It's like a group of like paid like Russian like internet research people.
Oh, so like they're like on the government payroll?
Yeah, more or less.
That's fucked up, like, but that's kind of hilarious too.
Yeah. Yeah, they get paid to Operation Geppetto people. I actually found the mischief list if you wanna go through it.
I'd love to hear it. This
is actually the original one, dude. This is like, I still have a quote from that acid trip on this note.
Awesome.
But so the first one on the list is to breed and release rats in public places. So the plan was to get a box and breed a whole bunch of rats and just like release it in the mall or something, or in a food court.
I mean, you can kind of do that with the wasps, man. You got some good wasps, right?
Yeah, they die off pretty quick, though. Just
how many do you have going right now?
It's not really possible to feed them. Probably have like 3 or 4 left. Like, they died off quick. They like peaked at like 10 or 11, and then like the next day like dwindled at like 6. Yeah. And they just keep dropping in number. Damn. Yeah.
I wonder what the lifespan of those are.
I don't know. But it's like kind of fucked. The bottom of it just like they all fall to the bottom, and like their hive and them just turn into like black, and then like bugs just end up coming out of it. It looks fucked. It's
you
the
said
work of the
bugs
devil.
Come out of it?
Yeah, they're like maggots or something that eat them after.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly looking. The next one on the mischief list was actually catch bugs and release them in public places. Then after that, there's making like fake coupons for the transit system. So I wanted to have like kind of like the way those like phone number peel things work. Yeah. But I wanted to just have like a QR code or some bullshit and just say like, it's like 3 free rides for seniors, and then just like put them up at like the like Saga and like Brampton terminal or something like that, and like just have people argue with the bus driver with this fucking piece of paper with like a printed QR code on it, and just waste the bus driver and everyone's time by like arguing with them about like this coupon that they got for free off like the side of the road, you know?
Oh, Jesus. Is that the end of the list, or is there more? Is that the end of the list, or is there more?
Yeah, there's one more, and that was like for a whole neighborhood. You get those packs of like individual cheese slices, and you go around, and on all the car exhausts you just put a slice of cheese like out of the pack, but or like stuff it into the exhaust. But if they turn it on and the cheese doesn't like fall off the exhaust, then it'll actually like melt to it and stick to it. And like once the cheese actually burns on, it's like nearly impossible to scrape off. And it also makes a shit ton of smoke too. So if you get a whole neighborhood like the whole neighborhood would smell like burning cheese and just be all smoky and fuck.
It's a lot of craft singles, though.
Yeah, but a craft single per car, you know, like your cost per vehicle isn't that much.
Mm.
And like every vehicle's at least one day ruined for someone, you know. And then there's also a quote too from that acid trip, and it says, "I walked 20 inches above the ground at all time." And I just remembered like having like this like idea of
No, I remember that, but I don't remember what it was about.
What?
I remember that, but I don't remember what it was about.
I was just tripping balls, and I was just like, yeah, I like just always walk 20 inches above the ground. And then I like had this like, I don't know, I like described this image of this frog like on a unicycle, like in an X-top hat, just like riding it, but like 20 inches above the ground. And like getting a next tattoo of that.
I swear that was something else. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I remember while we were walking, we like stumbled upon this like playground that had just gotten that like on that acid trip. We had stumbled across this playground that was like had just gotten that like rubber.
Oh
like,
yeah, that rubber ground put in.
Yeah,
that was trippy. Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know.
Remember that one shroom trip where we were walking
yeah.
on the... Remember when we were walking on the lake shore on, like, that one shroom trip?
Oh, that was incredible. And the water was so like, high, it was just, like...
We... Remember, I, like, played the end, and then as soon as the track started playing, 2 military helicopters just, like, whipped by. Like, as this track started playing, they just, like, crossed the lake while we were all tripping on shrooms.
What?
You don't remember that?
No.
I, like, just started playing the end, like, the Apocalypse Now theme song, and then, like, as soon as I did that while we were tripping, these, like, 2 military helicopters just came into view from, like, behind this, like, shoreline, and then they flew across the lake.
Damn.
Yeah, it was cool as fuck. And then I remember, like... There was one point where we sat down in, like, on this bench, and there were just, like, people biking, like, by the bench, but there were a lot of people. It was kind of busy. I just remember tripping so hard and, like, seeing just kind of, like, all the bike people, like, it was kind of like Tron, so, like, there was just, like, light trail behind them. There were bare people, and I was just tripping nuts. And then we, like, kept walking through, and then I remember, like, you cut through this, like, fucked boatyard. And then like, Luke and I tried to, like, catch up, and we were just, like, tripping balls, like, running through this boatyard, but, like, between, like, propellers and, like, fucked fins and shit like that. It was just, like, a wild trip.
Yeah, I went to a sailing camp at the boatyard when I was a wee lad.
Nice. How's that?
That was the only summer camp I ever liked, because I hated summer camps.
Yeah, I didn't really like them either.
If you put me somewhere that's like anywhere like school or anywhere like
structure,
yeah, fuck, you can fuck off.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks about summer camps, man. It's like so many kids are just worst is like so many kids want to do it. Songs. It's like what the fuck, like. You just got done with, whatever, 10 months of school, and you're just ready to just go back to, like, some other weird place where you have to go to sleep and wake up every day and go do some activities that are planned out for you.
And they're always bullshit. It's like, oh, like, let's go in a circle and say your favorite animal and, like, one of your hobbies. It's like, look, I don't really give a fuck about what Shamonte's hobby is. Like, I just want to go home, play some fucking video games, you know?
Those are the worst. The ones where they, like, get you
like the YMCA ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are ass. Or, like, they'll just have you sing some next fucking song about a moose or some shit. Fucking dumb.
Yeah, that was the only one I liked, because, I don't know, sailing was just cool. and I don't know. We like learned how to capsize boats and shit like that there. I can sail quite well, actually. It's not really a skill that leaves you.
Yeah, sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it on a catamaran. Like, I did a sailing class in the Dominican Republic on these, like, smaller sized catamarans. They might have been, like, I don't know, like 20 feet.
Yeah.
Like 10 to 20 feet.
Yeah, I've sailed my uncle's catamaran like that a few times.
They're alright. The only thing is, like, if it just has the net there, you can only really use it when it's nice out.
Yeah.
You're just, like, using it to, like, chill. Like, you go for, like, a 3-hour rep max, and then you're...
They're really fucking fast, and they're cool, and they're a lot more stable and shit, but I would still probably prefer to just rip, like... If I was ripping, like, a dinghy, I'd go with, like a laser or something.
Like one of those... Have you ever seen the Zodiacs? Like, those assault boats?
Yeah, like the rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are cool. Super fast.
They're kind of mad expensive, though. Like, if you get one with, like, the little podium and shit, they can be, like, 20 or 30 bands.
The lasers are just, like, the ones that are super flat. Like, there's barely somewhere to, like, put your legs. They go real fast, though. It's almost like you're in, like, a giant sailboard.
Oh, true. Yeah, I've seen those.
But they've been around for a long time. And there's a Laser 2, which is like a slightly bigger dinghy.
You could get those for pretty cheap, too.
Yeah. You could probably get one for like 3,000. Like,
Nah, that's so much for them.
Dude, yeah, like 3 bands.
Like a 24-foot. You could get like a 24-foot boat with like a cabin for like 3 or 4 bands.
Well, lasers are just like, you know, like they're like a pedigree. They're like racing boats. That's why they cost. Well, yeah, you can get a cheap dinghy for sure for like 2 bands max, $2,000.
Laser 1 sailboat, $1,900. Laser 1 sailboat, well maintained, rigging and sails in good shape, hull and deck in great shape. Custom boat cover included. Yeah,
this one's... I'm looking on Kijiji here. There's one $1,500, $1,700, $2,100, $3,000. One for $1,950. That's from 1974. That looks nice, but I don't know if that would work though. That looks really cool, actually. It's got the nice wood parts too. Wood keel and wood steering thing.
What do you think of the vaccine passport mandate they're trying to pass?
I really don't think there's much to... I mean, there is a lot to say about it, but it's just simple to me. There's infringement on your body and your rights.
Yeah, I think it is kind of weird that this is just all of a sudden a case where you can discriminate against people based on medical records, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine if I would just like went into a restaurant and wanted to see if like any of the line cooks were HIV positive, and like if not, if they were, like they can't handle my food, you know? They'd be so cheesed about that, but like, and I'm pretty sure like in Canada they don't have a sex offender registry because it would like violate their privacies or whatever. Like they don't have a passport system or a tracking system. But now we're just gonna do this for everyone because of the vaccine. Sounds kind of fucked to me.
There isn't a sex offender registry?
There is, but there's not like a passport. Like there's no there's no equivalent of like a vaccine like passport for like sex offenders or something like that, you know? Like at no point are they like forced to identify that, like unless they're like moving into your neighborhood.
Is that really a thing?
But there's no like there's no like passport or like tracking like system, you know, like they're not like monitored.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously all suspect. Like, they're making such a big deal out of it, and more people die yearly from the common flu. So I don't know, that right there just
also
says to me, like,
most people in the ICU have a bunch of like comorbidity factors. They have at least over 2.
yeah,
So if you're like diabetic or obese or anything like that, obviously you're going to be more vulnerable. But if you're healthy, like I know way more people that are healthy that got fucked up from getting the vax than I know like healthy people that got fucked up from COVID.
yeah.
And even if you get the vax too, like you can still get COVID. As far as I understood, it might just like dampen your symptoms. But if you're healthy, I don't see why that would be a risk you'd want to take.
Yeah, I don't. It's so weird.
Nowhere do they say to like exercise or eat right either.
Yeah. And when you go to the States, like, it's easy to sit back and be like, you know, a lot of people live in cartoon world. They don't really think about shit like that much, that hard, you know. But
Sure.
if you actually go to the States, if you go to certain states, like go to Florida. It's bad there, right? The news says it's bad there. It says there's lots of cases there. If you're coming from Canada to Florida, it's shocking. Like, I remember I went there from a kid and I was like, holy fuck, like, these people are all fucking obese. It's fucked. Like, going from Canada into Florida, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I think Atlantic City was the roughest I've seen, just on like the casino strip there on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, man! There's some fridges walking around. It's like, you know, those people might die like within like 2 years. Like them being in the ICU for COVID shouldn't be that shocking, you know. Bet pneumonia could take them out, or like bronchitis. I've had both within like the past 2 years.
Jesus. Yeah, it's...
What would your plan be if they say you have to have like some sort of verification to go to restaurants or like bars or grocery stores or stuff like that?
I don't know, man. That'd be really bad.
Yeah, that would be pretty fucked. I mean, I think grocery stores would be fucked. Like, if it just like bars or like entertainment stuff, like it'd be a cheese, I guess. But I feel like even that at a certain point would kind of just like die down and blow over. Like,
Yeah.
I really can't see people checking like vax documents for the next 5 years, you know?
Yeah.
It'll probably just be like a thing for like a few months if it happens.
Yeah.
And even then, like, there's probably going to be a lot of class action lawsuits coming out of this.
Well, I don't even know. Like, yeah. I mean, I would like to see some justice come from this, but it's so hard to, like, everyone's playing the, you know, oh, it's not me, it's someone else.
Their own sides.
Yeah. Don't blame me. Yeah. And it's crazy to see how, like, different generations are taking it in different groups of people. I think it said, like, the biggest group of people who aren't getting it are the most educated.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
But then I also see, like, the whole, like, you know, baby boomer generation seems so all gung-ho about it, you know. It's just go get it, you know. My fucking dad, my dad and my uncles I saw recently, and they're all fucking with me about it, so annoying, man.
Yeah.
It's like the same as like sitting around a table full of baby boomers and listening to them complain about Donald Trump. Like,
yeah,
we get it.
Your opinion became irrelevant 40 years ago, sir.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, it is funny to see how shook people are. And the same people that fight for the vaccine passport, I bet you, are the ones that would be like, I'd be the person that would have hit Anne Frank right away from the Nazis. They would have come knocking at my door, and I would have been like, no, you can't be telling people the way to live and oppressing people like this. I would stand up for people's rights, you know, and they're like, this is why you should have a passport and monitor everyone and not let people that don't do what I want go to the store.
Anne Frank should be the mascot for the passport resistors.
Yo, just have like a fake passport with like her picture on it, and it just says I didn't vaccinate.
But yeah, when I think about the vaccine passport, I think about like travel and shit like that, and like that bothers me too, because I'd like to, especially after this whole lockdown thing. But like, yeah, I would like to travel soon.
Yeah, we should plan a trip somewhere. Dude, I can't even like describe how hyped I am to hike in like up north for like 10 days. It's gonna be sick. Like just getting fresh air and spending time like running up and down mountains and climbing shit. Like fuck yeah, that's my element, you know?
Where are you going exactly?
Like up like around Thunder Bay in that area.
Yeah.
Gonna go like check out like a silver mine. Now a side message from the Moonbase podcast. We'll be doing a reading excerpt from Self-Initiation into the Golden Dawn Tradition by Cicero.
It is important for a magician to feel a link with a divine source of the universe every single day. In our modern secular society, human beings can easily become detached from that which is spiritual. In order to reaffirm our awareness of ourselves as beings who are part of a greater divine self, it is important to make a ritual gesture confirming a link between the eternal and ourselves. This eternal self is readily symbolized by the lunary of soul, the sun, the symbol of both light and life on earth.